Well, welcome back to New Zealand Plus. I'm Dermy as usual, and I'm here with the man who put a shock collar on me long before Hassan Piker made it cool. New Zealand Plus executive producer Jason O'Connor.
It is the copium on that is so funny. Like, I mean, I don't dislike Hassan for his politics. I dislike him for being a Twitch personality. But the amount of copium for it's not actually a shot collar, guys. I'm like, looks like a shot collar.
It did look. It did look like.
Mm.
It did look like an opportunity, whether it's true or not, for a lot of people who didn't like
Dude.
Muslim streamers to go to town.
It's the James Gunn, right? Like they don't actually care. Like
No.
Christy Noem shot her dogs. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
so, and so yeah.
But it's funny. Some excellent memes.
Yes, very good. I agree.
Hassan as Thor.
There was one for Dota because one of Storm Spirit's abilities is called Shock Collar, and so if he does his move, I'm pretty sure it catches him and like stuns him for a bit, and so that was another one, and so someone replaced him with Storm Spirit. I mean, there's plenty of good things about it.
It's pretty silly. You know what? I can't stand that. It's funny, but I can't stand that internet drama crap between streamers and that. It's so dumb.
And so contrived for sure.
Yeah, and people jump on just because they know they'll get a bunch of clicks. They did it with Mr. Beast. Remember all the fuss about Mr. Beast? That didn't go anywhere. That's just gone away.
Yeah.
But for a while, like half of YouTube recommended feed was Mr. Beast videos.
Yes. Linus Tech Tips has had it. They've all had it. Like,
yeah,
to an extent.
and so there's someone. My advice to anybody in the moment, I know someone listens to me. My advice is always just wait a week.
Yeah.
Just if you're stuck in one of those dramas, it's really
just shut up and go on holiday. Take a holiday.
Wait a week, it'll go away.
Yeah,
because the internet will find something else.
Look at Asmon when he did that whole thing about Palestinians being less than human and all this and all.
He said generally Muslims less than human.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like it's an interesting.
Weird, he got a boost after that.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely, right.
Strange.
Right.
But yeah, he doesn't wash his ass.
Yeah, it's gay. It's gay, bro. Haven't you?
No, he doesn't wash or something. It's a weird. I hear stories about stuff like that, and I find it bizarre.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, I also saw I've been watching a little bit of Young Turks, so I try and watch everything. I'm never a big fan of it. Cenk's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. Cenk fluctuates for me. He can be all right.
Yeah, hit miss. But it's funny. He was talking the other day when I watched about Anna Kasparian. Is that how you say it? He's constantly getting messages because she's been very vocal about current world events. And he said he's constantly getting messages saying, go to sack her. And I thought, that's kind of cute because that's like me and Jason.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. He said it again.
I've got a few. I've had a few messages to sack people, random people. I've only ever sacked 2 people, and I'll let people guess who those people are.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we were going to talk about games or stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's usually what the podcast is about.
Let's start with Microsoft and how Microsoft is. Do I have to say unaliving themselves?
Yeah. I mean,
does it matter?
Is the algorithm going to get us?
Yeah.
No, they've definitely decided to just give up. I don't know what any of this is if it's not the give up signal.
I thought a couple of years ago, when the Xbox came out and Sony clearly rushed the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 was heap shit. They rushed it, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want Microsoft to have a launch window all to themselves because they got this weird idea of console generations. I thought Sony was stuffed, but right now, Microsoft would just,
they just hand it to them. I mean,
how can you run a company this badly?
If there was any reasonable competition, there's no way that Sony survives the Jim Ryan era untouched, right? Like Jim Ryan, what's his name? Some nickname.
Is that the guy that couldn't speak Japanese?
Yeah, House was this one who could speak Japanese.
Yeah, there's one famously couldn't even speak Japanese and he was running Sony.
Yeah, that's
before Sony moved to California.
Yeah, now it's well, they're moving back. Sony's taking it back to Japan now. So, but yeah, no. I think if you were in any other situation, you are shitting yourself. But then when Microsoft say, you know what, we've just decided to give up on life, like whatsoever. So,
yeah,
I don't understand. Like, it's a bad decision, but like to go up 50% on the cost of Game Pass into the revelations about the new console being a PC console hybrid potentially, into talk of the ROG Ally and all of its issues.
Okay, the next console being a hybrid PC console. Now, I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
They are.
I think we've said it to each other before. Yeah.
Basically, they're waiting for Gabe to kick the bucket, and their only strategy, I reckon, they have is to get Steam.
Yeah.
I don't think they have another
That's the
strategy.
Hail Mary.
And
That
then
is the
just
absolute
and then
Hail
they're
Mary.
just going to go back to PC gaming,
Yeah.
and they're going to stream it off Azure,
Yep.
PC games to your TV
Yep.
and your
Yep.
fridge and or whatever the fuck else they're going to do.
Yep.
But I think that's their only strategy. I don't think they have anything else.
No, I agree. I'm not convinced there's anything else that would help them at this point. Like
Apparently, internally, they have a mandate. I saw this
to use AI.
well, not just AI, and I've been using AI a bit for coding, and it's a really good assistant.
Okay.
It couldn't replace what I do because AI is really good at doing stuff that's already been done. And I can tell you now, when you talk to a customer, they're always coming up with the weirdest stuff, right? So it's got a purpose. I wouldn't replace everyone with it, but you've seen recently Windows updates have been a disaster, and
Yeah.
also the recent AWS thing. I can talk about later.
Yeah,
if you
we'll
want
cover
about what happened there.
AWS in a bit, I think.
So the tech companies are desperate to get rid of stuff. But so this is where Microsoft, their treatment of developers and their desperation to move like Halo to Unreal Engine, their way they do the contracts, it rubs off on the rest of the industry and
Yeah.
rubs off a bit worldwide.
They're big enough to have a gravitational pull to what they do.
Yeah, the way they do things is harming the game industry in so many ways. Apparently, internally, they have a mandate that every game project has to make a minimum
Like
30%.
30%. Yeah,
profit.
yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah.
Um,
Which for a dev studio is actually really insane profits. Like it's actually really high by sheer virtue of how most projects go. Like
And the-
obviously there's projects that take off and go crazy, but yeah.
Are they still working that out based on the first 2 weeks of sales, or is that
Well, I mean,
lifetime?
the sales pipeline is still the first 2 weeks, and then that's 50% of your sales, and then the next 2 weeks is 50% of that, and then it's basically the last 25% of your sales will come over the rest of time.
Yeah. Another one that came out is in America, 65% of gamers apparently are only buying 2 new games per year.
Because the main, as we've covered in the past, the 6 main games, the 6 trafficked games, are all game as a service, right? So there's no new
Yeah, it's
games.
Minecraft, Roblox Pedo Simulator,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just Roblox. You said it
or
originally.
Pedo Blocks.
Yeah. Fortnite.
Fortnite.
There was a couple other weird ones that I was surprised at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a few like there's main game. Oh, Call of Duty and GTA.
Yeah, the ones that get played over and over again.
Yeah.
And what's interesting with that is there was a lot of complaints about it. Like, oh, why aren't people buying games? And I thought every large publisher is trying to make the next Fortnite,
Yes.
right? Or the next, yeah. They're
I mean,
trying to,
look at Helldivers, right? Look at how much Helldivers has succeeded despite Sony, despite them only being a small studio.
Helldivers is another one of those ones that was accidental. Like
Yes,
the original
for sure.
Fortnite was accidental, how it became big.
Yep.
Which goes to show that if you make a good game, it'll happen. But they're all trying to with like things like Concord. They're trying to make the next game that'll be your lifestyle.
Yeah,
That'll
they're trying to
occupy-
focus test the shit out of it. It doesn't really work like that.
But how does it work if they're going to complain and say gamers are only buying 2 new games per year in America? And let's see.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, the American economy is fucked, so they're all strapped for cash.
Yeah.
But if you're only buying,
When you say 2 new games, I have to cut you off there. When you say 2 new games, you mean 2 AAA.
I assume
main
that's what it
release
is.
games. Yeah, because indie games, I buy a bunch of random indie games
Yeah,
throughout the year.
because they didn't. And retro, I think there's a big market
Yeah.
for retro. Even EB Games now is carrying retro stuff. So
I
think
did see
retro's
that,
getting
yeah.
bigger. But my point is that they're trying to make Concords and stuff like that. They all want to be the one game that
Yeah.
rules them all. They all want to be Fortnite. They want to make a Fortnite, and they can sit back and just rake in the cash and not really put in a lot of effort, even though Fortnite puts in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
They all want to do that. So how do they think it works if they're all trying to make a game that makes all other games not play,
Obsolete, yeah.
and then complain that people are only going to buy 2 games a year? Well, that's the future they want.
Yeah, well, this is that thing, right? When you hear the statistics of, X amount of people play games throughout the year and blah, 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 but that could be mum plays Minesweeper on a computer.
A lot of Candy
right?
Crush.
Right, a lot of Candy Crush, a lot of Minesweeper on the computer,
Yeah.
a lot of those kind of games still occupy such a huge space in the lexicon. But when you're going for that core demographic, and keep in mind that I would say, and this is probably a more controversial opinion now than it was when I first had it 10, 15 years ago, but I would say the average Call of Duty gamer, the one who comes home, plays a couple of rounds of Call of Duty when the kids are in bed and then goes to bed, I wouldn't call them a hardcore gamer. Like, I would call myself one, and that's a slur, like 100% it's a slur, but I finished 36 games last year. I mean, from
Yeah, so the
indie stuff through to real big stuff. Finished Destiny.
the wailing hyper consumer that Lee Alexander complained about. Big hello to drunky
Yeah,
Lee Alexander.
yeah, and so
Hey,
for
by the
me,
way, everyone's not dead. Just so you
yeah,
know, Lee.
yeah, yeah. So for me, like it's my main storytelling medium. So a lot of the games I play are usually narrative driven. Don't get me wrong. And like even Hades, as much as it is a roguelike, it is a narrative driven game. Like it's phenomenal. The story, the voice acting's great. All that's like that's what I'm trying to get out of these kind of games. But I still play Helldivers. But I think Helldivers has a good mix of that stuff with the tone. The tone is phenomenal.
But this is a big complaint I've had for a while about using game as a generic term.
Yes.
It's like saying, "Oh, do you like music or not like music?"
Yeah.
Right?
What genre? What? Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much, right?
What when I say I love
Do
movies. What
you like
movies? I
movies?
just watch Marvel movies. Oh, okay, it's not really love of movies,
Yeah.
is it?
So, but games we have this sort of weird, and you can the collective shout types and all that. They just think game means
Yeah.
one thing, right?
Yeah.
Not understanding that it's as diverse at least now as movies.
Yes, for
I
sure.
mean, absolutely. And so when they're trying to say everybody should just play like their new Fortnite game, they're missing the fact that there's so much space there
Yeah.
for so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all trying to be the one game
Yeah,
forever.
and I think their focus testing, like obviously the focus testing is too hard and the margins are too high. Like they have to make certain amount. I mean, this is what happens.
And they stop focus testing with Americans, eh?
I
Because
mean,
I think right now,
100%.
I know a lot of our audience is American, but I think right now it's been well established that they may not be the brightest country on the planet.
Well, I think it's more the kind of people that you would get
Collectively, sorry.
the random people you would get for focus testing either online or in person are not demonstrative of the audience that you're trying to attach it to. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're
Yeah,
yeah.
and anytime, that's a good point because anytime the people that play the game like arc up about something on Twitter and that, right? Everyone dismisses them and
Yeah.
tells them to shut the fuck up. And you go, no, they're exactly the people you need
Yeah.
to listen to.
Yeah, yeah.
You want their money,
Yeah.
right? I know that the customer's always right in matters of taste,
yeah.
right? But the fact is, you want their money. You need to listen to them. And if they're the hardcore that are going to splash over the cash, they're the
Well,
ones that listen, not a focus group.
I've always treated a lot of this stuff as like you have your big game that like I remember Toni Collette and I was watching a thing with her. It was just after she'd done Little Miss Sunshine or one of these indie movies that she loves to do, and she'd just done another big movie, and then she went and did Little Miss Sunshine, and it was interesting hearing her say, she goes, yeah, I go do the Hollywood movie, and then that pays for my time while I do the movie. Like obviously I pick
Yeah, the stuff she likes.
the indie
Yeah.
stuff that she wouldn't be able to do if she didn't have something supporting it. And so she goes, so that's how I get to pay for me contributing to my art the way I want to. What is that I do the big stuff?
All the sites I do for lawyers and mortgage brokers pay for the time I spent on
Correct. And that's
the game
and I say this to a lot. I mean, but it's the same for me.
Like, he's listening to that.
When I work for Redacted, like you know, and I get flown all around the world to do it. The money that I make from that pays for my wages for 2 or 3 months, and so then I can go to like you know we for a company that's starting out small, we still do a lot of stuff either free or cheap, and I mean cheap as in it just covers our basic costs to do it because we want to support grassroots organizations. And so a lot of the time when we send a quote, it's like you don't want to see what I'm sending to the big companies, and I guarantee you the big companies still think I'm too cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, but I mean, there is that's fair because you want to promote things that are important. Anyway, so I think with Microsoft, I'll get back on that because
Yeah,
otherwise we'll say too much about how we do work. But but with Microsoft, so Game Pass gone up. They have this 30% minimum requirement for profit for something to be considered successful. They're pushing AI everywhere.
Yeah.
They treat their developers so badly with their contracts that just to get out of paying them health
Yeah.
cover, which is an American thing. Americans, seriously, get over it. Just pay health.
Yeah.
Like, just make you.
Yeah, I mean, you're all
Healthy workers
you're
are good
losing the street
workers.
for all this other stuff, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
games haven't really improved for 10 years because they keep like sacking half the industry every week. So yeah, Microsoft at the moment, I thought they had Sony done when the Xbox Series X came out, but
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I think as soon as they bought Activision, it was just downhill from there. Like it was like everyone was believing in the build, and then they cancelled all the games that people actually cared about, and they bought WoW. It's like this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Activision because I have a theory. I told you that. Now the Activision purchase was weird.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
It was definitely a favor to Bobby Kotick or someone.
Yeah, well, hey, look, sex dungeons are expensive. I mean, look at Epstein. And Activision wasn't far off.
I try not to, if I'm being honest, but yeah.
Activision wasn't far off. That's sort of organized setup. But let's my theory now is the other news that's come out recently while you're away was the sale of
EA.
EA to everybody has said on the news stuff a Saudi Arabian like wealth
Yeah.
fund thing.
Ignoring there was one other important player in that particular fund.
It's it's actually a giant fund run by Jared Kushner,
Yes.
who people would recognize as the very moronic nepo son-in-law of
Have you heard
the president.
his weird squeaky voice? I don't know, man. I never get
He
past
just never done anything that appears to be very bright. But he just it does seem to when a certain person is in power, he seems to pop up everywhere. He started this company 4 years ago. It's back with Saudi money. There's a hedge fund involved as well. But yeah, Jared Kushner is actually the owner because he runs the company with the Saudi money. Jared Kushner is actually the one that owns EA now.
Yes.
Now, my theory is that the Activision purchase, I reckon Microsoft jumped at that because Kushner and his guys were snooping around
around it. I could see validity to that. I could definitely.
So
see
I reckon that's why there was a weird purchase, and the 55 billion isn't far off from 70 billion. Really, when you're talking that money, I reckon they jumped because Kush was going to buy.
Let's put on the big tinfoil hats and go another step on
Man, a Trump relative buying something that had sex dungeons. That's a turn up.
Keeping it in the family, right? But no, if you're going to go one more on that, Microsoft, obviously, a lot of the Kinect technology is now being used was being used in the American military. So
and they remember the glasses?
I do remember.
Oh,
the
sorry,
glasses. With the Minecraft stuff, and so I look at the 3D.
That never happened.
That never happened, but I'm sure it did when you were looking at 3D maps of Afghanistan. And so,
well, but how do you know if the farmers are military aged or not?
Yeah, that's just kick him out of a helicopter if you're an Australian. So allegedly, and so basically, like we mentioned before, like, have you ever seen anyone use an Oracle system? Do you know what I mean? And I think that Microsoft bought it because they know that Call of Duty acts as a propaganda arm for the American military.
Yeah,
and they wanted to make sure that they had that chunk of the pie.
You know that when they changed the highway of death or the highway to hell from being the Yanks shooting the hell out of the Iraqis to the Russians shooting the hell out of the strange change.
And I mean, like,
wait do you see what happens with the new EA version? Was it Battlefield?
Yeah.
Oh, wait do you see that? There's going to be escort missions where you have to escort an uppity woman around the place so she doesn't make it to the airport to escape. Yeah. There's going to be, you're going to have to call in, like, there's going to be like chase scenes where a woman might be driving on her own. You have to call in an airstrike to end it. There's going to be all sorts of wild missions in Battlefield in future.
Well, I mean, because it is that thing, right? It's
you know who the big funder of Uber was when it started?
I assume the Saudis.
Yeah,
MBS.
Yeah, because they didn't want certain people driving.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
And look, it is that thing of, it's been interesting to see in the last 6 months.
Hello to our Saudi friends.
I think Bibi would be noticing as well that suddenly they aren't the preferred security partner in the Middle East anymore. They would have to be noticing. That
do you want to know my theory about Venezuela?
Why, that it's to take them out for the Saudis?
It's Venezuela's the exit strategy from the Middle East.
Really?
That's my theory. My theory is Venezuela has more oil than
it's crude, but they're one of the very few places that can
refine
it is in America. Yeah.
They can build a pipeline straight up to America.
Coast,
they don't have to bring it over on boats. They don't have to worry about blocked off channels or anything like that. And some people in the Middle East might be a little bit out of control, a little bit wild, and they might want to just sort of like calm the farm a little bit on that and take themselves out of that environment.
Funny story.
That's my theory.
Did I tell you I left Doha Airport 7 hours before the Israelis struck it? Like, I know I made the joke on the plane. I made the joke on the plane to the guy, and I'm like, you know, between, because we had bad turbulence, and I said between everything else and the Israelis, hopefully we actually make it to the end of this flight. And then I got on the next flight, and he was sitting three rows down, and we were walking through the airport. And I turned around and said, "Yo, did you fucking see this? What the hell, man?" Like, yeah.
Wow. How do you feel like being? You probably got searched at the airport, all your bags and that for explosives, and then
in Europe, I'll tell you right now,
Israelis just sent them there.
I'll tell you right now, in Europe, especially Germany, I'm just going to put this out there. With my surname, I was stopped at every fucking bomb site every single fucking time.
Yeah, they got a problem
every single fucking time.
They got a problem with the Irish, and the Germans can fuck off because because our history is not quite like yours, Germany.
But every airport in Germany,
gotta say, there's a few differences there, dude.
Every airport in Germany, I got stopped and bomb swabbed. Every
Yeah,
airport.
I know you're feeling guilty,
Yeah.
and maybe should.
Qatar, nothing. Qatar let me walk
Leave the
straight
Irish
through.
alone.
Yeah, the Qatar is like, yeah, you boys are all right. But you go to
Yeah,
Germany and it's like every fucking time I'm getting stopped. Every time.
yeah.
And I just thought that was hilarious.
People find it confusing why the Irish would take a certain position
Yeah.
over
Over Palestine.
over seeing somebody else trying to be murdered by somebody.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy.
Yeah,
Everyone's like, oh, kneecap. I'm like, are you really surprised? The boy's speaking Gaelic still. So, like, yeah.
yeah. So
Gaelic, yeah, sorry,
there's
yeah.
yeah. I think the world though doesn't know enough Irish history.
No,
Because the British got away with
yeah,
covering it up and pretending that,
absolutely.
oh, all the potatoes just ran out.
Well, what is it? Chaos surprise.
Uh,
Like, yeah,
How
yeah,
about that? I mean, we had ships full of stuff we were shipping back to England to feed us, but
yeah.
yeah, you guys eat grass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But look, I mean, we've gone a little bit off the topic of Saudi Arabia and stuff.
That
But
happens.
like I said,
Oh, yeah.
I think as much as anything else, Saudi sees the writing on the wall, and they want to become that partner in. All right, that's why
It's
Iran's
game
the first
washing,
country.
it's
Yeah,
sports washing. They're spending a lot of money trying to fix their image.
yeah,
Now, that'll be interesting to see how it goes because I don't think this is the geopolitical thing. I don't think Saudi Arabia has ever really flexed its muscle like it
yeah,
can, and I think the world will be surprised when it does
yeah.
because of the sheer amount of money they've got.
Well, the sheer amount of keep in mind that Wahhabism has, I mean, Wahhabism is perhaps the most virulent and violent sect of Islam, and it's how they've managed to keep the poor poor and the rich rich in Saudi Arabia more than anything else. You know what I mean? Like they're all princes from, the prophet's people from many years ago, and all the holy sites are there and all that kind of stuff. So they've managed to do that. So they have a ready, willing, and able flurry of poor and poor workers that they're ready to exploit. I mean, look at what they already do to Bangladeshis and stuff like that, right? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see their influence.
mm,
But I think the bit everyone glossed over was the fact that one man is now in control of EA. So the Bobby Kotick of EA is Jared Kushner
yes,
now, and I
correct.
think that got overlooked. That'll be interesting to see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see what impact I joked about it, but it'll be interesting what impact it has on their gaming
Well,
offerings.
Andrew Wilson's going to get his $100 million and go off into the sunset. So good on him. But yeah,
Yeah, he probably shouldn't get any money. He probably should just go.
yeah. Well, I mean, because it is that thing. Like, they have released EA's released some good games in the last 10 years, but I would say it's been about 6 games that they half-assed and just released for the sake of it, and then some of them got popular. Like the Unravel was more popular than they expected. Wild Hearts was a great game, but they just didn't know what to do with it. You had what's his name? That guy, the loud guy. Way was it not Way Forward? The jail one where you play as 2 different people.
Way out.
Way Out.
Yeah, that's a good game. That
Yeah.
is fantastic. The ending's brutal though.
Yes, it is brutal.
I didn't like the ending. There should have been the third one. I would have done it different.
Oh my god!
No,
Like
no, I can't spoil it. It's such a play way out.
that
That's
is
a great
that is
game.
a problem.
It is so
That is a
good.
problem with those binary ones. Like
Play
oh,
with my son. It was
yeah.
devastating the ending though.
Yeah,
It really was.
yeah. I mean, sad endings are fine.
If you got a son, play it with your son.
Yeah.
It'll make an interesting conversation.
Yeah, and but yeah, no, like I think we have entered this kind of end game for
Excuse me.
American, especially when it comes to the gaming world, like the way the influence works now. And when we live in a world where Ubisoft is now basically half owned by Tencent, or like all of the main properties have spun off into a Tencent company, so that's going to be interesting to see there. So that's going to be the countercultural point.
Actually, my view is the future's indie. I think. The
Yeah,
industry
I think
will go
everyone.
back to
Yeah,
indie.
I think we finally hit the point where connectivity is such a thing, and that's. But again, that goes back to why do they want to control Steam? Because they want access to all of those indie talents. You know what I mean? They don't,
The ability for an indie developer to publish to a large audience has probably never been better.
yes, I mean this is the same with production on. I mean, it's been video was ahead of us, but like. That was what YouTube offered was the chance that people could create content and not have to go through the studio system or something like that. Now, why would you go back to the studio system? Like, why would you go back cap in hand and say,
Yeah, why would you when YouTube's trying to become that studio system themselves?
Correct.
Because the same, and this is what's going to happen to Steam. Steam's going to become Xbox. Remember they tried to do PC Xbox?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to become that. Anyway, I do believe their strategy is waiting for Gabe to kick the bucket and then move in. But anyway, so that's the Saudis. What else are we going to talk about? Do you want me to talk about briefly about AWS?
Yeah, let's get. I mean, while we're already
'Cause
discussing American conspiracy theories,
It's a bit gaming related because Roblox is one of the affected ones.
so for those who don't know, AWS servers last
Not all of them.
Tuesday. Not all of them.
Just one.
Just one.
Not server. One location.
Yeah. So a lot of services were either down, like Reddit wasn't working properly. There was a bunch of sites that just weren't working properly because of the way.
Okay, can we point out that Reddit was one that wasn't working properly? It's an important one.
Yes, that's why I brought it up.
Okay, Reddit wasn't working properly. Okay, yep.
So Reddit wasn't working.
Roblox, which is
Roblox,
weird.
yeah.
I can't believe. Yeah, wait till you hear my conclusion here and why Roblox was. Did you know that MasterCard is pushing Steam to ban more and more Japanese games?
Yes.
They're targeting Japanese games. Again, let's bag America. My theory there is that is about making American cultural products dominant.
The cultural hegemony. It has to maintain the cultural hegemony.
You can't have indigenous stories from somewhere else, and you can't have. Japan has different morals, different ways doing it, and a lot of people like it. It's got good and bad. Like, it's not perfect, but but Japanese stuff. I've been watching Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer's good. Yeah,
fucking hell, that's a good show.
Yeah, absolutely
it is. It is top notch. Yeah, so
for shonen trash, it's the right kind of shonen trash.
It is way better than anything coming out of Hollywood. But I think the way to compete is to destroy everybody else. This is how the US military works. So if you want to have the most expensive house in the street, you can either build your house up really nice, or you can firebomb everybody else. The American model is
I'll say an appropriate usage. We're talking about Japan and Tokyo, so yeah.
Well, yeah. So they so they're basically still trying to get MasterCard is, but meanwhile MasterCard does events with pedo blocks, like a fish. That's weird. Yeah. It's strange. It's like you're allowed to be a pedo infested platform if you are from the right country.
Yeah.
Now Japan has some dodgy ass stuff.
Just lines on a page, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but Roblox. Anyway, but anyway, that's American cultural hegemony, but that is being pushed big time at the moment. Where was a game before that? AWS. So Roblox is one of the games affected. Reddit, bunch of others. All the telecoms in America. Yeah. Okay, now quickly. So what happened? There was a DNS change that fucked up in one region of AWS, US East 1. Yeah. Now there's a whole heap of regions. They're all over the world. There's regions in Sydney. There's a new one in Melbourne.
That's why some sites load faster than others, because you pay for coverage to pull data from those particular servers as opposed to going halfway around the world.
Yeah, and the extreme version of that is that some companies pay money to be closer to the stock exchange so that they can get their trades in quicker.
And you're talking by microseconds.
Yeah, because even at the speed of light, it does take time.
Yes.
Also, when you're talking cables underneath the sea, yes, they do travel the speed of light, and the speed of light does take a while. But there's also muxing and demuxing of the signal to go, and that
you've actually got to convert it. Yeah.
I don't know if they still call it muxing and demuxing.
Well, I mean, I always say to people like modem. What a modem actually stands for is modulator demodulator.
Yeah. So basically, anyway, so you want to be. There's regions all over the world, and you used to choose a region that was near your customers, so your customers could get your stuff from the servers quickest, right? I put my stuff in Sydney or Melbourne. I put New Game Plus in Oregon. Now, the reason I do that is because now you've got a lot of systems like Cloudflare that actually will help you with that, and they'll move some content closer to your customers. So if they notice that all your customers in Melbourne, they'll put it in their Melbourne server. It'll be quicker. The thing that can't be fixed by any edge networks or any new technology is API calls. Now, I put the New Game Plus site in Oregon because we have a lot of API calls to Facebook and YouTube for our content.
Plus, it's probably the closest American state to Victoria. But anyway.
Yeah, well, Oregon's where Facebook and Google have data centers. So I put it in the Amazon data center there. So it's close. Now the calls are fast because API calls you can't really cache them.
Yeah.
You can't. Anyway, so now here's where I'm going. I'm building up a story here. Now you choose a region based on not just proximity to your main users, but
proximity to data sources
to interactive systems. And if you have multiple systems, like I said, we do a lot of API work with Facebook and YouTube on our website. So I put it near their data centers, so it's quick. The calls are quick. The site doesn't get held up. Here we go. So now what happened with Amazon? US East 1 is Virginia.
Yeah.
And Virginia is where all these data centers were. Now, you can have it in multiple regions for redundancy, and you should if you're a big company. For some reason, places like Reddit and that did not. Why would you put your stuff in Virginia now?
So
what else?
There's a little town in Virginia called Langley. What's in Langley?
And what there might be doing an enormous number of API calls to the Amazon data center to Reddit, Roblox, and others.
Yeah.
They all have. Edward Snowden said they all had backdoors. They all had access to this. They don't. They don't want to be waiting. They're not going to put it in the Tokyo data center.
Yeah.
They're not going to put, because each one of those calls are going to take ages. They're doing massive amounts of queries over APIs. They want it to be quick. That's why they're all in Virginia. And what happened the other day when they mucked it up? It wasn't because of this. It was because what it exposed was all of those companies that went down are tight with a certain place sitting in Virginia as well.
Yeah.
And that's the story that everybody just overlooked. I like I told you, I even talked to Ryan Grimm on Dropsite and Breaking Point and tried to explain. He didn't get it.
Yeah.
And he tried to explain to a tech guy, and this tech guy on his show goes, "Oh, no, all the data centers are in Virginia, whatever." I'm like, dude, you just ran past the point. You just missed it.
But they're not allowed to say it, otherwise they get a knock on the door, right? Like,
so interesting that Reddit
Yeah.
was impacted. Now I would have thought Reddit would be in multi locations, but the fact that Reddit is sitting in the data center next to the CIA, there's a reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anybody at Reddit, just so you know.
On Reddit in the last 5 years, especially, like before that, it was already. Yeah, I don't know. I think whoever saw Reddit and saw it becoming, because Reddit was probably one of the last bastions of, I won't say free speech because that's a dumb statement, but like actual engagement on the internet. I mean, it just confirms dead internet theory, right?
It was when it was Elizabeth Powell.
Yes.
When she took over, things changed massively, and that was when they brought it in line.
Yeah.
And what they do, they did with Discord as well. They start by saying, "Oh, look, this platform is probably full of white supremacists. We need access to it, right?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Well, that's just a tell on you, really, guys."
Yeah. And Discord's the biggest snitch ever. So if you type anything in Discord, just assume it's going to show up in your Facebook suggested ads. Like, it's just one of those.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what happened there. And that is the real story, I believe, on the AWS outage that happened a little while ago.
Well, let's break it up a little bit. We should talk about game. What have you been playing at the moment? I guess because the one thing that struck me the other day, and this is kind of tangential to any news point, considering this is News Game Plus, is TV and movies are finally making a comeback and releasing good movies. It's been so long since I've actually looked at a TV show and gone, wow, that was really good. But I'll say, I watched Peacemaker, I watched White Lotus. I'm smashing through White Lotus at the moment. There's a bunch of good TV. Like, what happened? Like, we've suddenly remembered how to make other things that weren't video games.
I'm waiting for Stranger Things season 5.
I mean, look,
didn't that take place over like a period of 2 years?
They're going to be like 45, but they're going to be my age by the time it comes out, right?
11 has a child now, although I think it's adopted. But
yes, I mean, exactly that.
Wild.
Like, yeah, exactly that.
And you know what? Child actors don't age well. Like
poor Haley Joel. He was good. Did you know Happy Gilmore 2? I didn't hate Happy Gilmore 2.
He was also in Boys, wasn't he? Didn't he get smashed up in the Boys?
Yes.
Yeah. So look, child actors don't age well. Actually, no. Put it this way: male child actors do not. Because the features you need for a cutesy little child actor boy, for the Hollywood producers to find you attractive, aren't the same ones once puberty.
There's a few that have transitioned. There's a few that have made
that's one strategy.
Yeah, that's one strategy. There's one. I would say Gosling, but I think because Gosling always had these like aloof, soulful eyes, so he can get away with it.
Ryan Gosling was he a child actor?
He was at Mickey Mouse Club.
Okay.
Timberlake, but Timberlake went into music. So yeah.
When the Paul brothers, they were Disney kids, weren't they?
I thought they congealed in a gutter somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know the worst thing about being
you won't get invited to the Impulsive podcast now.
You know the worst thing about the WWE at the moment is probably one of their best performers is fucking Logan Paul. It is annoying how good he is at wrestling. He just gets it, and he's athletic.
Strange you use the word performer.
No, it's annoying because every time I'm watching the men's division, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be a Logan Paul match. And then it's like, oh god, I have to actually enjoy this. Like, it sucks. It sucks that he's good. And the worst thing about him is the way his character leans into his YouTube stuff, and he's like, oh, I'm the heel on YouTube. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, but his actual work is good. I hate confessing that, but it's true. Like,
look, some of the stuff they did when they were doing early YouTube was actually kind of funny, but they shouldn't be as big as they are.
No, I mean, but this goes to show you the nature of that era of celebrity culture where we'd untethered ourselves from the kind of the orthodoxy after 2008, especially.
But didn't I tell you about how all the people who make it big are kind of chosen by the platforms? And so YouTube You know how YouTube, yeah, okay, you know how YouTube payments work.
Yeah, we get some occasionally.
So, okay, we're aware of how now YouTube payments are still geared towards a top
Yeah,
1% model, and nobody else gets anything. My belief is that that's because they like to make sure they have their stars, like the old TV
yeah,
days,
yeah, yeah.
and if they have their stars, they can have control over them.
Yeah. Yeah,
And so
except they don't really have them in those binding kind of contracts that the old studios and stuff used to
where they
have.
can just take their money away at any time.
Correct.
They don't need a contract. They can just change the
They
rules.
just had to suddenly change the
Anytime.
way the algorithm tracks views and
Yeah.
stuff like
So
that.
and so the fact that you've got people like Jake and Logan Paul became big, and some other diggers, and even to a degree, I'd say people like Tate and that.
Mm,
The platforms decided that.
yeah.
The public didn't, because you can't tell me they were the best
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
The public didn't decide. The platform did, and the recommendations count for a whole of a lot.
Well, this is my lament, because, and the reason I brought it up is because, like I said, with video games, there's still some discoverability. Like you can still go on, and obviously the Steam store and stuff is full of trash, blah blah. But Steam usually do a good job of doing that, and I guess cutting through the noise is still probably the hardest part for a lot of indie devs. But if you're looking at it from like a YouTube perspective, there's no discoverability anymore. Like the way the algorithm works, there's no discoverability. You can't discover someone randomly. Like the idea of a hey, I'm just going to see what's on. Like what's the top ranking things? Like, what top ranking for you? It's always for you. And I'm like, I don't want you to show me things I already know. This goes to the siloing of modern media. I don't want to see things I already know. I want to see things that I may not know and then skip and change. I mean, I miss the days of just being able to change the TV channel and see what else is on. Even nowadays, if you change the channel, you're probably just likely to see the same ad for some weird mop that you don't need.
You know what? This is where the government missed a massive opportunity with their laws about social
Yeah.
media. It should have been about not having algorithms.
Yes.
They should have made it so that anybody who's under, I would have said under 18 even,
Yeah.
it is purely friends.
Yeah.
Only friends. And if they share something, like the old days used to share memes and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
And I would actually build the camaraderie, because then the more content would come from the friends. It would encourage the friends to be interactive.
Because there's benefits to social media.
Yes.
And that's where the government should have done, instead of this stupid ass ban, which is really just a censorship effort, which is nothing compared to what AI is going to do.
Yeah.
But that's the real missed opportunity, because that's where they could have said, if you want to have an algorithmic timeline,
Yeah.
fine. Over 21s or something, whatever. But I still think they're bad. Nobody likes it.
I'd love the option to turn off my algorithm on
Yeah,
Facebook. It would be
but they
great.
should have said even by default, right? When you load up, it's always friends or
Yes.
people you followed or decided to see, and it's in time order,
Yeah.
reverse time order, and that would have been the easiest fix.
Yep. I
And
agree.
that's all they had to do.
But there's no ads to be made, no ad money. I think that's always the thing with TikTok, because TikTok's just about to get sold to the Americans and turn into another Instagram. Is like,
It's going to Oracle.
yeah,
Nobody uses Oracle except people forced to by the US government.
yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen
funny
it.
that,
In all
yeah.
my time as a professional programmer in several corporations and consulting and that to others, I've never seen a real
Yeah.
Oracle customer.
especially in Australia, right? Like, yeah,
I've never seen a real Oracle customer.
yeah. And so I think yeah, I don't know how to say it's really, there is no discoverability. There's no stumbling across something you like. Like, it's got to be someone shared it on Facebook, and I think there's a value to that, in that, like, the algorithm will try and serve you stuff that it thinks you like. My algorithm at the moment is all over the place. Like, I'm getting Chinese memes, I'm getting German memes, I'm getting, because it's just detecting my location and going, oh, you've been in Germany, you have some more German content.
Yeah, mine has trouble with stuff because I'm a developer.
Yes,
And I'll work on something for 2 weeks, and it'll be all just reloading that to check it. So the algorithm does get
oh,
confused.
he must really love this. He's just clicking on that like a monkey.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And so it goes, and then suddenly he's obsessed with something else. So
Yeah.
it gets confused.
And the funny part is, like, you'll buy something that you actually get advertised, and I must confess, I've had a couple lately that I'm actually happy with. Oh, yes, remind me, I've got something for you when
Oh,
you
cool.
go.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of stuff that I'm like, I'm happy with this and the way that it exists currently. But then you'll still get ads for it after you've already bought it. Like, and obviously,
Yeah, that shits me. Yeah,
I don't want it to know that I bought it, because then it would mean that it's tracking my transactions on that end, and that's even worse.
Yeah, but you're too like you're wasting your money selling it to me. I already
Which
got
is
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like it, but there are some companies. Like, I bought a jacket the other day that I just love, and I hate to be that guy, but I love my jacket. I look like,
Are you listening phone?
I look like, no, they know, but no,
Jason wants a jacket.
Listen. The company I bought it off does small batch gear, so it's like they only make X couple of hundred of them, right? And then They'll do specific drops of specific items. That's the modern way to do a fashion brand in 2025. And so it knows, and it'll tell me when they do new drops. And so I'm annoyed for once that Facebook ads and Instagram ads actually work in my favor for once, like because I'm like, oh, I could see there's a new drop coming. And I'm like, obviously that's them spending money on advertising, so it must be worth it to them. But I'm like, I fucking hate that it worked because it means that it's going to just keep sending me the same thing over and over again.
You know, I've got YouTube Premium now, so unless things have changed in the last 2 or 3 months since I got Premium, something that really they used to say they collected our data to sell to target ads,
Yeah.
right? I really think I don't know whether it's YouTube or devs. I think there's such a missed opportunity there for really pushing indie games
Yes.
into that space. Now they can't pay as much as Ladbrokes or something because I was getting gambling ads constantly, and that's why I got Premium because the gambling ads they're beyond the joke, right? Interesting that's what the people ask for when the government decided to just ban social media.
For anyone who wants to watch YouTube and doesn't want to pay for Facebook for YouTube Premium, just use Firefox with uBlock extension.
Anyway, so I did get it because we watch on TV and that as well. Yeah. So through a Kindle Fire.
So do what you want, but I haven't seen an ad on my MacBook in 5 years. But yeah,
the point is, if they showed ads for indie games and stuff, that would be funny, interesting. And I'd see stuff, and if it's click, oh yeah, I'll play that, and it's like $20.
Yeah, right. The only ads you get games for is like Last War Survivor and like Whitefall and stuff.
Bullshit, it's not real. Now something wild happened while you're away on the internet and the internet shifting.
It's still like in the world. I didn't leave the universe.
No, you blinked out of existence. I'm a baby. You dematerialized.
Yeah.
So now
we're suddenly Looper. Okay,
yeah. That's a good movie. I can't believe Rian Johnson made it. Because he was
shit
at Star Wars.
I think the problem with Star Wars was not having a plan for 3 movies at the start. But
anyway, Looper was good. Rian Johnson did okay there. That was actually quite a good concept and story. But okay, something wild happened when you blinked out of existence, right? When they snap.
Thanos snap. Yeah.
So the teenage social media ban in Australia included Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Not that kids go anywhere near Facebook or Twitter because their parents are on it. The best way to get kids off of social media
put your parents on it.
Sure. But it doesn't include. It was announced 4chan.
I thought that was funny. I did find that funny. I did get that out.
How do you know about that?
Got the article. Yeah, I got the article on it. Well, you know what the funny part is, right? So Patreon hasn't done it yet, but like I know OnlyFans and a few others suddenly are asking for verification for you to spend the money anymore. And I'm like,
OnlyFans.
Well, OnlyFans does it. I mean, so I heard on the internet. But Patreon didn't ask me for money, and I don't know if that's because my account already existed or that they don't care. But I was surprised that Patreon got away with it and OnlyFans didn't.
Steam said, we already have credit cards on here, and that's a verification. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
That's why Steam's the target.
I'm not a Gaben lover, but I'll tell you right now, in the last few years, he's definitely made up for any sins he might have caused.
So 4chan is okay for under 16s to go on.
Yeah, nice.
What could go wrong?
Get him on Kiwi farms, bro.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Yeah. My reasoning is this is actually good because I think if all the edgy teens,
second wave of edgy millennials coming through,
the glory days are back, baby. The glory days are back.
And it is funny.
There's going to be some Habbo stuff going on. It's going to be great.
Because in the way we talk about the modern internet and how the internet is people, 4chan, for all of its foibles and all of its awful fucking shit, is people. There's plenty of stuff on 4chan that isn't quite this awful poll stuff. Like
it's got all sorts of stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think if they could have made 4chan palatable, they would have done that instead of Reddit, but they couldn't, so they had to use Reddit because Reddit is a spin-off of 4chan and something awful, and it's a whole fucking thing if you look it up. I'm sure someone has the real history.
Back when they used to have wars. Actually, I think Internet Historian has some great. Look up Internet Historian.
Yeah,
he has some great videos of the wars that take place between Tumblr and 4chan and stuff.
It's funny. Well, I mean, because this is the thing. This is the consolidation of media. This is the modern world on it. We talk about there's only state media in China, blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's true. But I also get like a lot of Douyin memes and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff that's been translated from Chinese social media. And I tell you, it's a different vibe, man. Like I know we're probably getting a select feed of it, but it's just a different vibe to what's going on in the West. Like if you want to talk about the psyop is making everyone in the West give up hope. And in China, they're very hopeful people at the moment, and they've probably got materially worse conditions.
Uh, talking give up hope.
Hmm.
I see the Chinese stuff online, and I post heaps of it, right?
I'll send you a couple of links to the videos I'm getting. Just to show you.
And it's not that I love the. I've been accused of it. Like, if you love China so much, go. If you love the Communist Party so much, go live there, right? No,
Yeah,
it's not that. It's. I want what they're having.
Yes.
I want that. I want that.
Yes,
I want that
absolutely.
future. I want that ability to think that things are gonna be amazing. Now, I saw, you've probably seen as well, there's an AI generated video doing the rounds of come back to the 80s. I don't know if you've seen it. And it's got a whole heap of 80s stuff, and it's got this girl going, come back to the 80s, you know, it's where you belong, right? Now, I loved it and I hated it, right? And I'll tell you what,
South Park did a literal episode on this 2 years ago, but yes.
Okay, look, it was an AI generated one.
Cold War's back, baby. Cold War's back.
Well, no, it was really nice. It had the 80s music of that, and I'm a sucker for that. That's why I like Stranger Things and stuff, right? You put 80s stuff on, I'm all over it, right? But yeah, just put in my veins. And I would go back to the 80s if I could, if it was possible.
Really?
Yeah, fuck this world. This world's got nothing.
Bombs going off in Ireland, and you know it's.
That was funny because almost got the Prime Minister a couple of times. Anyway, so
they nearly got Well, they got Mountbatten. They nearly, yeah.
Anyway, okay. Now this AI thing, I should have loved it, but I hate it. And the reason being is that the video focused on is like, we remember the 80s used to hang out with our friends at the mall all day. We used to like drive down the road in our cars. And I thought, if you're the person that misses hanging out with your mates at the mall and driving your car down the road, we didn't like each other, right? We actually, you know what? We hated each other in the 80s.
Because you all had the leaded petrol in your blood.
because the thing about the 80s that was so amazing is technology was improving all the time. There hasn't been a single technology improvement that's been mind-blowing in the last 25 years other than the iPhone.
I would caveat, yes, I would say consumer tech for sure, and I would say from usability tech, everything. This is why shitification is a thing. If you want to look at the medical world, there are some amazing things happening in the medical world. That
consumer electronics, though.
Consumer electronics, absolutely. I
agree. I used to catch a train up from Geelong to every PC show in the old exhibition centre buildings, right? And there'd be something amazing every time. There hasn't been anything amazing. Like I said, other than the iPhone, there hasn't been anything amazing for 25 years.
And since then, everything's been a monolith. Everything's been a monolith for 20 years.
And you'd look at it, all our science fiction shows were like 1999, 2000, 2001. We during the 80s, we honestly believed something amazing was going to happen. We believed.
There was an optimism to get you out of the Cold War as well. The wall had just...
When the Berlin... I know it was 89 when the Berlin Wall fell.
But it was building. Everyone knew it was coming.
That was the most incredible moment of my life.
You've been to Berlin?
It's amazing. No.
You do it. I'd recommend you do it, especially if someone your age,
But growing up through all that, there's just stuff through it.
I was born 4 years before it happened.
There's so much hope and so much promise, and anything was possible, right? And I'd have to say now, 35 years later, that's not the case.
9/11 stagnated the culture.
And this is why I hated that video so much, because they missed the point. It wasn't about hanging out with your friends at the mall. It was about anything possible. Now, this is where I'm going with the Chinese stuff. I look at the videos of Chinese cities now, their subways and stuff and what they've done. And I think they're where we were at the 80s, where anything is possible for those people. And everybody living in China must be sitting there going, wow, we could be living in space in 20 years. And they literally could if the Yanks don't bomb them, right? They could do anything. And that sense of I can't wait for the future.
Because people would say
in the white world.
People would say it's a national kind of a patriotism thing. I would argue it's a shared hope. And I think it's not completely dead in Australia, although it would have been if the Libs had gotten back in. We would have been 100%.
There's no real shared hope in the whole white world right now.
I agree with. I feel like there is a lack of.
We're not waiting for what happens in the future. We're kind of just surviving today, right?
But we've been in this. This is why we're so stressed and why we're so full of cortisol. We've been in this mindset for 20 years. Since 9/11, we've been told that the threats are internal, external, everywhere.
Well, they can't sell us dreams.
No, so they sell us fear. Yeah,
they warn us about nightmares. Yeah. And so you look at what's going on in China right now, and they have that hope. They have that 80s hope.
Yes, absolutely.
They must be looking there right now, going. They must see their giant drone shows, and they must be thinking, "Wow, anything's possible."
Yeah.
And right now, I don't know. I mean, Australia doesn't seem like that. And I got to be honest. So if you like, not that I'm planning to, but if I kick the bucket tomorrow, I would not miss this current world.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing. What is there? Like I grew up imagining right now I'd be living in space.
Yeah.
Honestly did.
And keep in mind, and then you think of it even in the little bits
I
and
was
pieces.
born. I was born the year we land on the moon.
Yeah.
We fully expected that trajectory to go wild, right? The whole time. Like as a nerd, I'm sure if you're the sort of person that thought the 80s was awesome because you hang out with your mates at the mall and drive your car down the road, you didn't think that because you were a fucking moron and you had no imagination. That's why you look at that thing now and you love it. But if you're actually caring about anything in any science fiction or anything technology, you were looking in the 80s thinking we are going to be amazing.
Irish reunification 2025, baby.
Yeah, it could still happen.
It could still happen.
But yeah, that's where China's looking at now, and I'm jealous as fuck of them. I don't care. I don't want the CCP, but I'm jealous as hell of what they must be feeling.
And again, and don't get me wrong, like this is built on the backs of how many dead workers and how many dead whatever. Like there's no doubt that it is at the moment a dictatorship by anything but.
And our nowhere society is built on the back of how many dead Iraqis,
exactly, and
that's
how
many dead Syrians, how many dead Palestinians, how many have to die for us to go nowhere. And the only dream the Americans have is sacking everybody and building Mediterranean beachfront property on the bodies of a whole heap of people in Gaza. That's the only dream there is.
Just in case you're running where we stand on the issue.
It's not this. It's just not what it was. And I'm sure there's people in China right now just they feel like I did in the 80s.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. I feel like that's the difference. Like I say, every country's got its foibles and every country's got its issues. But I think, I'm very much of the opinion that the thing that's missing in the Western world is hope. And I think I would say one thing that's come back recently, and you're a bit old to see it, but I would say camaraderie and interaction has come back. Like even post-COVID, people more than ever, like they're not going out to pubs and drinking and stuff like that, but they are finding ways to get together. I think young people are starting to yearn for it. And there has been more and more meetings and catch-ups and things like that, more than there was even, I would say, 5-6 years ago, just pre-COVID. But people are starting to realize the value in that as opposed to purely online interactions.
Yeah, well, that's good actually, because during COVID, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's got a daughter just a little bit older than mine, and he reckons that those 2 years of lockdown really did slow the social growth.
We didn't socialize our pups for 2 years.
Yeah, I compare where my kids are to where I was and my wife was at that time, and we were like
I also
world of difference.
I also think our extended lifespans have meant that we have a longer adolescence. I think adolescence has been extended beyond thing, and I say this current generation, but I think it's true. I mean, they're infantilizing. Everyone's been infantilized for the last 15 years. That's what I say when I say that it stagnated the culture. Everyone got stuck in 2010 and they just haven't left. Like everyone's, I think people are living their truths more, but they're also living a more infantile existence. And that's not to say go get married and have kids. Fucking God knows, I'd never.
Charlie Kirk said too.
Huh?
There's a billboard I saw. Charlie Kirk says, "Get married and have kids."
Yeah, right. Yeah, your mate. Yeah.
And that guy that's just a podcaster. Anyway.
Yeah. National hero. But yeah, no. I think
that's what a hero looks like now.
Yeah. Just don't even. But like,
once upon a time, rich people used to fund like Michelangelo and that.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they fund fuckers like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Peterson.
It's anyway.
Moral story is I think it's a dour note to end a podcast on, but I think it is the one thing that the Western world's missing at the moment is hope, and I don't know what's going to fix it, but we definitely need to if we want to.
Video games,
maybe. I mean, it could be a vehicle for change, and I mean, not that performative over the top change that we get from a lot of these kind of bad actors in the scene, but I think it could definitely. I think the fact there is interactive elements in thing. I'm still impressed with the Helldivers community and how not full of gronks it is. Like there's way less gronks in that community than there is in communities that existed before COVID. But yeah, no, I don't know. I want that to change because I mean, the West has its issues, but it'd be nice to keep the values of secularism and progress going. And I'm not convinced we're currently doing that.
No. Hey, by the way, have you seen a movie called In Time?
No.
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, it's Justin Timberlake. Why would I watch that?
Okay, I thought that too. It's about how you age till you're 25 and then you stop aging, and then you got a counter on your arm. This is in the future, right?
Renew.
Well, close. Well, it's a variation of that.
I like how you knew what I meant, though. Yeah,
you actually have to.
You're old.
Renewed by now. A couple of times, but no, you actually have to. You have a countdown timer, right? And so you actually have to work every day to buy time. And so the moment your time runs out, you drop dead on the spot, right?
Wow.
You stay 25 forever, and so you have to work, and you buy things with time. The currency is time, which is
Yes, no, actually, I've not seen it, but someone's mentioned this to me in the
it's
past.
it's
Yeah,
interesting. Now, as with all Hollywood
it's
movies, it flubbed the end. It turned into a
yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde show, right? But then he met some
So
guy.
did Sinners. I liked Sinners until the end, but
He
yeah,
met this guy who was over it, and he there were the like yeah he got the criminals that steal time off people and stuff, gangsters and that, and he basically got attacked by some. Justin Timberlake saved him,
yeah,
and he said, "Look, you know what? I've been alive for like I think it was 300 years. My body can do it, but my brain can't.
yeah,
I'm just over it. I'm over living, right? So he gave him his time and
yeah,
died, right? And so Justin Timberlake did that and went into a rich area,
yeah,
and he basically from there because he had so much time, he met all these other people who'd been alive hundreds of years, and he met this girl, and it was an interesting one because he goes, we should go for a drive, like go do wild stuff, and she goes, no, because it's the only way I can die. So we don't do it. All we do is have cocktail parties and dinners
yeah.
in our
Yeah, so
mansions
that's not
for
a bad
hundreds
concept.
of
That
years.
concept. That's not a bad
Yeah,
sci-fi
amazing
concept.
concept about time. As I thought, and we're kind of stuck there now, though.
Yeah,
We can't. That's where the world is now.
yeah,
Unfortunately, being a Hollywood movie, the ending had to turn into a shootout
yeah.
and
Of
Bonnie
course.
and Clyde, right? But it was such an amazing concept because we in a way we are there.
Yeah.
We are basically buying time. Every time every day we wake up, we're buying time.
Yes.
Just to so there's a Chinese philosopher guy I watch on YouTube. He talks about how it's like basically we're at the point where it's euthanasia for the poor. We're
Yeah.
basically just surviving until we have no use anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, in time's an interesting concept, but that's where it feels like
I mean,
the world is.
I say that to people when they talk about the modern world and how it exists and stuff. I'm like, yeah, basically you work to buy your own time, to buy your own spare time, and that's why enshrining things like 888 is important and all that kind of stuff. And that was why they were a big deal back then. But in the modern world, I don't know what that's going to look
Oh,
like.
we need to go to 3 work days.
I agree. Three, four max. Yeah.
They say 4, but I think it needs to go 3.
Yeah.
With some restrictions on overtime
Yeah.
because otherwise there's just it's not just the money. People need to work. People need something to do. And I don't mean the dignity of job because that's bullshit.
And
But
yes, okay,
people like to
cool.
do
Yeah,
things.
you got me because that was where I was
Yeah.
going to get you. I'm like, I do not believe in the dignity
No,
of
no.
work in that. Yeah.
But I do believe people like to do things.
Yes, and if you offer them those opportunities, if you find a way to channel it into a certain thing, they will channel into a thing, and then it would still leave them enough time to channel into anything else they would want.
Yeah,
to channel.
that's the thing that I want AI to do my washing and cleaning,
Yeah.
not my music and art.
Absolutely. I mean, and this goes to the core of it, and this goes to even as much as I love Dan, he can be a little bit naive on it. Is like, until we own the robots need to not exist. You know what I mean? Like until we have ownership of the profits of AI, AI is only going to benefit those who are already in trenches.
Yes.
So it's end on a full bullshit note.
Mm.
Hey, chill. I won't sing the Mao Zedong song, but that's fine. On that note, let's go because
I'm probably done.
we're actually hitting an hour.
At a rant. Yeah, I just looked at 57 minutes.
Yeah, keep in mind this is a video game podcast. Usually, we covered a little bit of gaming stuff, but we definitely went off on. It's been a while. It was pent up. We were bricked
Well,
up.
you're never here.
No, that's true.
You're always like gallivanting around the world.
Well, let's do one.
Sitting around.
Let's do one either later in the week.
Yes, or something. You didn't tell me. You just flying around.
Companies have
Business class.
No, not business. Well, business class if I got the points, but we'll see.
Got the points.
Yeah.
How do you get points?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, from other flights.
Pretty
Oh,
bad. I mean, I get. I mean,
off to Europe.
everything goes through. Yeah, it's all for work though, and then I just happen to go. Oh, while I'm here, I'll stay a week, right? Like, you've done the hard bit. You paid for the flights, but God, Europe's expensive. Anyone who is about to travel, if you're going to Europe, if you think inflation in Australia was bad, enjoy Europe and enjoy
a whole heap of people who definitely are not Americans pretending to be Australians are telling me on Twitter that Australia's expensive.
Enjoy Ireland because it is. I loved it and I loved every second of it, but it is so
expensive.
expensive.
Congrats to the new Irish Prime Minister. Top work, Ireland.
Yeah, good work. You did it. I mean, I would say it's one of the few places left in the quote unquote Western world where the left is still the counterculture.
Ireland gets it. Ireland's had a history that means they have the ability to get it more than most. I think,
and I think we're finally shaking off the Roman yoke and going from there. It's good. Again, more secularism in the world, not less, please.
Yeah. And the Bible's just a bunch of made-up stories, for fuck's sake.
Relax. You're going to get us in trouble. On that note, don't forget to check out newgameplus.tv, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, New Game Plus TV. This episode will go up. We'll hopefully do 1 or 2 more before we go. Jack is editing the summer season of the television show, so that should go up very soon. Also, is there anything else you want to call?
Jamie did an excellent blog about Microsoft.
He did. Jamie does write some good articles.
Yeah,
we've had a few new contributors show up on the sites, which is very nice.
Yeah. Nice work, Jamie.
Yeah, no, very good. And I think I know, like I keep getting the itch to do content. Like I say, I was really come June, I was like, yeah, I'm really keen to do content when I get back from Denmark, and then I haven't been home for 3 months. So it's funny how life goes sometimes. Life comes at you fast. I will be away, and then
You poor thing.
yeah, I know, right?
Ah,
I've yeah, but I will be as of next Tuesday.
imagine having a problem.
I will be in China. So
China.
I'm off to China.
Say hello to everybody. Tell them I
I
want what
will.
they
I
got.
will. Like I say, oh, I'm more worried about my social media going to America than I am going into China, because they would see my Instagram feed at the moment. They'd be like, "Ah, you're a good woman. Come on in." But yeah, no. And then I will
Yeah,
be
you are a
back.
commie.
And then I will be back for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will be in Africa. I will have officially done every continent except for South America and Antarctica. But Antarctica, I reckon I could just do in jeans and a pair of shoes, right?
Just hang out with the penguins.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen me walk around Tokyo in -5, so
Yeah, you'd be wearing shorts.
yeah. I tried to explain that to someone. They're like, "Oh, it's gonna be fucking cold in February in Krakow and Japan." Like, that's the point.
You're
Like,
just sitting there with a bunch of penguins all huddled up. You're in shorts and a
yeah.
t-shirt.
So
Yeah,
just wearing like a tux shirt to try and fit in, like a
yeah.
tux t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will hopefully get some more episodes recorded before then. Hopefully, we'll stay on topic a bit, but we definitely needed to get all that out of our system.
Yeah.
Now that we have, thank you all very much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Vote Mondami.